Ah, Calaglia. Feels like it's been ages.
And wasn't Zephyr with us too?
Dad.
Hey, chin up. This is your hometown.
Everyone around here looks so much happier than they used to.
I'll say. It feels like an entirely different place. I suppose it's had time to adjust to its newfound freedom.
Zephyr would have been so happy to see this.
Yeah, he really would have. Especially if he knew Law was... Law? Something bothering you, Law?
Nah, I'll be fine. It's just, you know.
It still weighs on you, doesn't it? Running away back then.
I abandoned my home. Then when I finally come back, it's been liberated. What's important is that it's free. I get that, I do. I just... I should have been here.
Oh, just one thing after another, and it all falls on my head to...
Hey, Nath.
What? Can't you see I'm... Alphen?
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renan rule, I'm up to my ears in Dahnan disputes. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come crashing down from out of the sky.
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere before.
But enough about my problems. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renan starship. You wouldn't happen to know any around these parts, would you?
A starship? What do you need one of those for?
To get to Lenegis.
Lenegis? Are you out of your damn mind?
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Oh, I believe it. Well, either way, I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about a starship.
Then do you have any historical records by chance?
Sure, we've got stacks of old records.
Mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Nath.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking for. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before the first Renan invasion.
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the records that came even close. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report of a meteor someone saw.
Another meteor in the same area? Really?
I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out of the wedge.
All the more reason to check it out. Can you tell us how to get there?
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that. But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor, but there's a giant Zoogle running riot in there. Never seen anything like it.
A Zoogle, huh?
Well, I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you much more. Just be real careful if you head out that way.
Hmm.
All right.
I guess...
Right.
I didn't like the sound of that monster Nath was talking about one bit.
Well, we have to press on. We're going through Zion Mine to Berg Volcano. Let's move.
everything okay with Hootle, Rinwell? He seems kinda out of spirits.
It must be the heat getting to him. We don't get these kind of temperatures back in Cyslodia.
Galaglians born and raised here struggle with it too, so it's no surprise.
Aha! So that's why his plumage is so white. He was born in a winter wonderland.
Actually, Danon owls absorb the astral energy of whatever land they're raised in. Where they're born doesn't affect their appearance at all. But that's not why he's white. The real reason is that he's still just a baby. Whew!
You mean their plumage changes color depending on where they grow up? Weird.
And with all this traveling we've been doing, it wouldn't surprise me if his wings ended up looking like a colorful painting.
I think he suits his snowy complexion. It'll feel strange to see him change.
How awesome would it be if his head and wings were different colors? And his stomach and sides, like a map of our travels! Ow, lay off, will ya? So much for the heat making him docile!
You've only yourself to blame for that one. Hootle takes pride in his appearance, you know.
Fascinating. An appreciation of aesthetic beauty in an owlet so young.
Dohalim, I think you've drawn his attention.
We've reached our destination.
It's quite hot here. The climate feels different from Menancia's.
It's gotten much cooler since leaving town, though.
Does that mean eyes were burning holes in us?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
So we're back in the Zion Mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you and I first fought together.
And also the first time we touched, as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
So this path is supposed to take us out to Berg Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law. So hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
We need to find that starship. And fast. The waters of creation. Do it! It's a duel of the arts! One more time!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! We've got fires!
I've got them! Let us rescue him!
All yours!
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
Let's dispose of the trash. Mega Ray! Annihilation!
Soaring...
as impressive as always.
Here I hope all is improved.
No, I mean you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Xion actually look closer.
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
You got the
That's my cue.
Good. Shut him down! Double Demon Fang! Swallow Dance!
Do it!
Could have been worse.
The design of this equipment is really interesting.
You must really like it, Alphen.
Huh. You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much.
Gotta break through!
Water! Here I come!
You picked the wrong fight!
Raging Star! Here's evil!
Raging Flame!
This one's mine!
Come one, come all! What's this? Rising Falcon! Eagle Dawn!
Annihilation!
All back to your defense!
Glad you have your uses!
I'll show you how
Charge like
useful
that
I can
can
be!
easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
A wailing
Now you see what I can do! Flew away!
By the power
See
of
what
the
happened
Lord!
there as you
Vanish
crossed.
without a trace!
Shouldn't have done that! Sword Ray Alpha! Do it!
Really?
All yours, Kisara!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Right, here goes! I'm on it! Rising Water! Soaring Light Spear!
By the power of water! Searing
Sword
flame!
Ray Alpha! It's on!
Dragon flame! Reload!
The heavens must be smiling.
My face is starting to sting. And my throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
You want some too, Xion? Oh, wait. I bet you're hungry more than anything, aren't you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
goes on.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to
Stop me! Remind me to stay on your good side.
Armor won't save you!
take this.
Eat this!
Do it.
Amazing.
Shockwave strike. Now. One freely.
Take it down!
Double demon fang.
I never fit!
Destruction.
Oh! Now I'm real mad!
Now!
Eternal devastation.
Yukara, I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life!
Over so soon?
I found some equipment.
Let me take a look at it.
No backing down!
Far beyond the darkest skies!
I'm on it.
I call upon
tear you apart!
Lightning thrust. Rising falcon. Dazzle.
Dance in the wind! Do it!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Look sharp.
Lightning tiger blade! See that?
That training's paying off.
I'm surrounded! What's this?
Lightning!
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that!
Rising falcon. Try this. Explosive ring. We're cleaning house.
Let me take the rest of them!
Well, someone's feeling lively.
You're mine.
Swallow dance! Swallow dance! I'm on a roll now! Number one down! These fists have got your name on them!
Banshee of lightning! Freeze Lancer!
Onward and upward.
This bridge will hold itself together, right?
Most definitely. Though I won't make any promises.
Which one is it?
Go no further! Eat this! Eat this! I'll heal you all! Holy Land!
Rising
Watch this! Hit a word!
As impressive
These
as
fists
always.
have got your name on them!
And here I hoped I was improving.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Xion actually look flustered.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Crumble! Pierce through! Demon fang!
Go away!
Said you came to my rescue again.
You need to be careful. With the blazing sword, and with my thorns.
Shion.
Pierce through! Destruction! Eternal devastation!
Glacial
Crumble!
Rain down and purify all!
All aboard the victory train!
Overconfidence can bite you in the butt.
What's this thing?
Callous. Calcified. Calaglia.
What
I won't forgive you! All
Come and face me!
Don't mind if I do. Lunar Blast!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
A change between heaven and earth.
Smash you!
I'm just getting started! Flying freeze! Can't they just sit still?
Sia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done. This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Lightning condemned!
Double Demon Fang!
We're in the home stretch, guys.
What she said? Eyes on the prize!
That focus goes double.
Me? How come I get singled out?
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Hear my call! Quiver Flasher!
Rising Wyvern!
We are freaking invincible!
Alvin and the others truly are strong.
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Do it! Good work! Demons descend! Flashing Fang! Easy!
Way to go!
Oh. Ay, qué fue.
In the groove! Now you see what I can do!
Shooting star!
Don't get careless.
It's crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there will be nothing left to view.
Exactly. So don't try anything funny.
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Dohalim. I would have figured rocks and plants would be too different for you to handle both.
Not necessarily. Both of them contain Earth astral energy. Luckily for me, this area is rich not only in fire energy,
An opponent like this should be easy.
In a vine!
Okay, Demon Fang! Eternal!
Now in the groove!
Eternal Devastation!
Get a word!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Will this help?
Take this!
The water
No escape!
Swallow Day!
Sharply flash! Okay, here I go.
Now I'm in the groove!
It's on!
It's weakened!
This ends now! They've really got us on the ropes.
Don't forget to heal your wounds.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
but why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared!
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogle?
Take care of them while keeping an eye on it.
Shockwave Flash! You're mine! Shockwave Flash!
Now you see what I can do!
I'm on it! Enough, go!
Holy Land!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Shockwave Flash! Take this!
Let's go!
I owe you, Sion.
Healing is what my art do best.
All mine can do is cause havoc and destruction.
Ready and rare! Shockwave Flash!
Now you see what I can do!
Oh, Sparkling, here's our healing art. Rain
I'm
down,
on.
one's mine.
These fists have got your name on them!
Here, let me help. Raging Cascade!
Here I come! Super Shock!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Here, let me help.
You hear it now!
Try to get out of this!
We've all got enough of us.
Yes, ma'am!
Astral Energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done.
Shockwave Flash!
It looks like you got this one covered. Force Lancer!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Here, let me help.
I owe you one!
Ready and raring!
Here come more!
You'll just have to keep fighting.
Take this!
Leave the enemy's arc to me.
No complaints here!
Do it! Whirling Struggle! Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Will this help?
Now or never.
Healing Circle! Thanks so much!
Reinforcements incoming!
Not a problem! Don't mind if I do! Hold on to your arc. Here I come!
Here I come!
I never miss!
Can't get out of this!
Here I come! The flame inside me!
They're all coming after me!
I'm coming, Ridwell!
I'm not scared! I'm totally fine!
Here I come!
Dance in the wind!
Now you see what I can do!
Ardex, we're coming through!
Shockwave Flash! Here I come! Glimmer Strike! You're finished! Talon Storm! You're mine! Shockwave
here.
Flash!
Get on there!
Try harder! I'm on it! Shockwave Flash! Shockwave Flash!
This one's mine.
There you go! Don't let up!
Shockwave Flash! Here I come!
Now you see what I can do!
Mega Ray! Illuminate the dark! Come forth!
Shockwave Flash! You're mine! Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Here, let me help.
What's up, so bad? How you doing tonight, bud?
Here goes!
You're mine! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Doing all right. Still trying to finish the game.
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you do, just please stay safe.
How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it.
That's what she said.
That's enough! Go back down!
Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
Yeah, he got the mask off and he remembered that he killed like a lot of people and a bunch of other stupid shit. Yeah, I mean a lot of fucking shit. Secret key, huh? Well, now I want that.
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky!
So at this point, it's safe to say we've beaten all of those things that we saw flying out of the wedge, yeah?
Yes, there were 4 lights, so that should be all of them now.
They put up a good fight, but we beat them right back down again, huh?
Weren't you even a little scared while we were fighting them?
A little.
But we still managed to beat them with our own hands. That's what matters here.
Yeah, exactly!
I do hope that really is the last we see of them.
Each one seemed to be unique and correspond to a different element. I doubt there are more of them running around out there that we don't know about. Wouldn't you agree?
Why did you look at Dohalim when you said that?
No big reason. I just figured I stole some of his usual thunder by explaining it. I know how much he loves to do that.
You know him well at this point.
He was just like, I can't believe this. How could this happen to me?
Hey, is that it over there?
You can never be too prepared. But did we have to spend so much?
Alphen?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave. We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
What's on the other side of this door, anyway?
Why ask me when you can just open it and find out?
This is...
But this is...
Right.
Kisara. Oh.
Wow!
Nice one, Alphen.
Thanks. Gotta keep up with the competition.
Personally, I prefer Bologna.
That equipment should come in handy.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Okay!
Here we go! I'll do my best! Tiger Blade! Light up the dark! Alright, let me at him! Think you can fly? Flaming Meteor! Tiger Blade! One more! Far enough! Tiger Blade! Tiger Blade! Light up the dark! Alright, let me at him! Tiger Blade! This one's mine! No chance! Flaming Meteor! That's it! Tiger Blade! Guardian Field! I'm ready to go! This one's mine! 20 left! Tiger! Tiger Blade! On guard! Flaming Meteor! On guard! This one's mine! Tiger Blade! This one's mine! On guard! 20 left! That's it! Here goes! This one's mine! Tiger Blade!
What the? Excuse me!
Yes!
Seriously?
I never knew Lagiel could be so... intense.
She can get that way where my brother is. Concerned.
It's not the only one.
Seriously? Is this a joke? This one's mine! Going in! The power of light! I'm ready! I'll take out the legs with my shield! Denied! Tiger Blade! I'll take you all on! Flare Demolisher! How's that? This one's mine! Shield and mace! Flaming Meteor! Going in! This one's mine! Ha! That's it! Round and pound! Howl! Slag Assault! Flaming Meteor! Nothing gets by me! On guard! Ha! Far enough! Going in! Tiger Blade! Flaming Meteor! Light up the dark! I'm ready to go! Now you've gone and ticked me off! Going in! That's it! No chance! Here goes! On guard! Plenty left! Ha! You're open! Flaming Meteor! The power of light! Alright, let me at him! I'm ready to go! Tiger Blade! I can handle it! Far enough! Tiger Blade! This one's mine! Ha! That's it! No chance! The power of light! I'm ready to go! Alright, let me at him! Look sharp! This one's mine! Plenty left! Think you can fly? Tiger Blade! Tiger Blade! Take this! Tiger Blade! Flaming Meteor! On guard! Nothing gets by me! Going in! Denied! Going in! The power of light! I'm ready to go! This one's mine! This one's mine! Flaming Meteor! Tiger Blade! Let's put you out of your misery! On guard! Plenty left! Take this! Flaming Meteor! This one's mine! I'm ready! Far enough! Going in! Inferno Crossing! Tempest Wyvern! Slag Assault! Going in! Think you can fly? Slag Assault! Flaming Meteor! Look sharp! Igneous! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher! Tempest Wyvern! Plenty left! Light up the dark! Alright, let me at him! Going in! I'm ready to go! First! Tempest Wyvern! Light up the dark! I'm ready! I'm... Far enough! Tiger Blade! Flaming me! Tiger Blade! Light up the dark! Guardian Field! Alright, let me at him! Tiger Blade! Tiger Blade! How about this? Here goes! Look sharp! Plenty left! Take this! charges to me! Inferno Tiger Blade! Here goes! Shield and face! Here goes! Tiger Blade! Shield and face! How about this? Switch to offense! Now you've gone and ticked me off! The power of light! I'm ready to go! Alright, let me at him! I'm ready to go! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher! Denied! Tiger Blade!
An opponent like this should be easy. Take this! Ha! Shockwave Flash! Ha! Eat dirt! Shockwave Flash! This one's gonna be tough. Here I come! There! Vacuum Blades! There! Hit! Vacuum Blades! You're mine! Shockwave Flash! No escape! It's over! Take this! Hit! Shockwave Flash! Hit! I'm not done! Nah! Hit! You're mine! Strike! It's on! Vacuum Blades! There! Ha! Burn! There! Vacuum Blades! There! Here I come! I'm not done! Ha! Hit! Here I hit! Take this! No escape! Damn it! Vacuum Blades! Hit! 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 Try harder! Vacuum Blades! There! Vacuum Blades! There! Vacuum Blades! It's on! Strike! Eternal Devastation coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Take this! Ha! You picked the wrong fight! Ha! Try harder! Vacuum Blades! There! Vacuum Blades! That is... There! Here I come! I'm not...
Pain. Great.
Try harder! Demon Fang! Ah! Try harder! Demon Fang! Try harder! Demon Fang! Hold nothing back! Demon Fang! This one's all mine! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Ha! You picked the wrong fight! Demon Fang! Try harder! Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Try harder! Demon Fang! It's on! Not today! Demon Fang!
I never miss! Magna Ray! Primed and ready! Magna Ray! This is it! Magna Ray! Magna Ray! I never miss! Magna Ray! Magna Ray! Here's a healing art! First aid! Magna Ray! Magna Ray! Magna Ray! Primed and ready! Magna Ray! Where are you going? Magna Ray! This is it! Magna Ray! Magna Ray! This is it! Magna Ray! Here I go! Go! I'm only getting started! Magna Ray! If it's in the sky, it's mine! Where are you going? Magna Ray! Here's a healing art! First aid! Here, let me help! First aid! Magna, this one's mine! Magna Ray! Where are you going? Magna Ray! Here I go! One more! Magna Ray! Take it! Magna Ray! I'm ready! Magna Ray! I never miss! Who wants to die next? Magna Ray! Eat dirt! I never miss! Magna Ray! Little help! Raging Cascade! Spread! Raging Cascade! Photon Flash! Light Astral Energy! Photon Flash! Light Astral Energy! Light Astral Energy! Light Astral Energy! Not in your dreams! Photon Flash! Alright, it's showtime! Photon Flash! Light Astral Energy! Photon Flash! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! They're surrounding us! Dance in the wind! Photon Flash! Here goes! Photon Flash! Light Astral Energy! Dance in the wind! Sealed! This'll come in handy! Blah 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 magic! Crossblade! Photon Splash! Photon Splash! Light Astral Energy! Photon Splash! Light Astral Energy! Photon Arch Field! Photon Dance in the Wind! Air Thrust! Blah blah blah, Matt! Sleep now! Photon Splash! Light Astral Energy! Photon Splash! Alright, ready! Photon Splash! Don't mind if I do! Photon Splash! Light Astral Energy! Photon Splash! Light Astral Energy! Photon Splash! Light Astral Energy! More where that came from! Air Thrust! Dance in the Wind! In here! Crossblade! Blah blah blah! Art expert coming through! Don't get in my way! Photon Raging Cascade! I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! Light Astral Energy! Photon... Photon Splash! Light Astral... Close one! Light Astral Energy! Photon Splash! Dance in the Wind! Air Thrust! Dance in the Wind! Sleep now! Blah blah blah, Matt! Crossblade! You get the gist! Air Thrust! 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 Arts require complete focus! Light Astral Energy! Photon Splash! 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 Light Astral Energy! Photon Splash!
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out. Big Blast! And bet that shell's hiding something tasty. Blow away! First strike! That's enough! Eat this! That's enough! Blow away! Talon Storm! Blow away! Big Blast! Steel! Talon Storm! It's go time! Watch this! Too slow! First strike! That's enough! I'm on it! Blow away! Eat this! Come and get it! Talon Storm! Eat this! I'll run you through! Watch this! Bang Blast! Eat this! I'll run you through! I'm on it! Shattering of pieces! Attack time! I'm on it! Blow away! Talon Storm! Bang Blast! Blow away! These fists have got your name on them! Blow away! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! You're wide open! Blow away! Talon storm! Watch it! Blow away! Fang blast! It's go time! I'll smash you! Fang blast! Eat this! Talon storm! Blow away! First strike! I'm on a roll now! Talon storm! Eat this! Talon storm! I lost my focus! Shattering of pieces! Attack time! Talon storm! First strike! Come and get it! First strike! Now you see what I can do! Inspiration! I could do this all day! Eat this! Blow away! Almost! Fang blast! Just watch this! Blow away! These fists have got your name on them! Fang blast! First strike! Blow away! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Inspiration! I could do this all day! Inspiration! I could do this all— I lost my focus! Blow away! Blow away! That frickin' does it! Talon storm! Eat this! It's go time! Armor won't save you! Fang blast! I'm on it! Come and get it! I'll end you! Fang blast! Talon storm! Steel! Fang blast! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Inspiration! I could do— Blow away! First strike! Talon storm! That's enough! Eat this! Almost! Now I'm in the groove! You're done! Take this! Fang blast! Blow away! Now I'm in the groove! Eat this!
Coming through. On your knees. No further. Begin. Benediction light. Heal. Simian pests. I shall seal you where you stand. Take what? Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite. Stalagmite. Thou art being interrupted. Breath of life. Heal my wearied companions. Cure. Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite! Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite!
Now or never. Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite. Resonate with the earth. Beckon into everlasting dark. Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite. Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite. All in order. I'll face you. Can't get out of this. Tornado drive. Stalagmite. Stalagmite. Another incantation ruined. Come on. Benediction light. Heal. Benediction light. Heal. Stalagmite. Benediction light. Heal. What? Stalagmite. It would appear I attract too much attention. Now what? Take this. In a bind. Ha! Benediction light. Heal. Elusive deity. Behold. The earth pulse. Tectonic vision. Can you take benediction light? Now or never. Resonate can't get out of this. Begin. Take this. You're mine. Benediction light. Heal. Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite. I'll face you. Does it hurt? Not so fast. I'll face you. What? Benediction light. Heal. Benediction light. Heal. Elusive deity. Tornado drive. Behold. The earth pulse. Tectonic vision. Ha! Benediction light. Heal. Begin. Does it hurt? Does it hurt? The earth throbs in pain. Benediction light. Heal. Stalagmite. Stalagmite. Elusive deity. Elusive deity. Tornado drive. Can you take it? Elusive deity. You're mine. Take benediction light. Heal. Elusive deity. Ha! Does it hurt? Elusive deity. I'll face you. Tornado drive. Elusive deity. Tornado drive. You're mine. Now it's my turn. Now or never. Can you take it? No further. Down on the ground. Ha! Sonic spear. Tornado drive. Can you take it? Catapult. Tempest. Elusive. Tempest. Elusive deity. Rotating pile driver. You require a hand. Catapult. In a bind. Benediction light. Heal. Benediction light. Heal. Resonate with the earth. Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite. Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite. Can you take it? Begin. Take this. Benediction light. Take this. Elusive deity. Ha! Take this. Tornado drive. Heal. Elusive deity. Behold. The earth pulse. Tectonic vision. Begin. You're mine. Does it hurt? Elusive deity. The earth erupts. Can't get out of this. I'll face you. Ha! I'll grind you into dust.
grind you into dust! Down on the ground! Seismic rupture! Catapult! Tempest! Catapult! Elusive deity! On your knees! Air pressure! It's time! Stalagmite! On your knees! Air pressure! Begin! You're mine! Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration! Regenerate! Let us take to the fray! What? I'll face you! Can't get out of this! Begin! You're mine! Elusive deity! Penumbra! Rotating pile driver! Breath of life! Heal my wearied companion! Cure! I'll grind you into dust! Tempest! Catapult! Tempest! Catapult! Tempest! Catapult! Tempest! Tempest! I'll grind you into dust! Rotating pile driver! Now or never! Elusive deity! Penumbra! Catapult! Behold! The Earth pulse! Tectonic vision! Resonate with the Earth! Stalagmite! On your knees! Captivity! Tempest! Seismic rupture! Captivity! Penumbra! What? Captivity! Catapult! Seismic rupture! Begin! Breath of life! Heal my wearied companion! Cure! Penumbra! Rotating pile driver! Tornado drive! I'll grind you into dust! Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite! On your knees! Air pressure! Stalagmite! On your knees! Air pressure! Ha! Tempest! Catapult! Down on the ground! Begin! You're mine! Tempest! Seismic rupture! Captivity! Tempest! Elusive deity! Beckoned into ever... I'll grind you into dust! Captivity! Penumbra! Rotating pile driver! I'll grind you into dust! What? Shine! Radiant light! Force of regen... Breath of life! Can't get out of this! Breath of life! Heal my wearied companions! Cure! Elusive deity! Can you take it? Take this! House this! Ha! Does it hurt? Elusive deity! Begin! You're mine! Take this! Elusive deity! You'll find no mercy! Can you take it? You're mine! Benediction light. I've used too much. Elusive deity! Tornado drop! Resonate with the earth! Do you require a hand? Stalagmite! What? Resonate with the earth!
Stalagmite! Resonate in a bind? Begin!
I sense a strange power from this. Always good to be back in familiar territory.
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads. Huh? That can't be.
I guess...
Great! Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah!
You dummy!
Whoa!
Ugh. And then she has to come along and...
Hey, you're looking a little red there. You working up a fever or...
You dummy!
What did I do?
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns. Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Shion? Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own? Shion. Shion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renaissance on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much.
when this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Alvin?
Living for the sake of dying. is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alphen.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen. We can fight this. Fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys... You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
The end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in, then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Or that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelegion. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shion's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, that doesn't mean Shion wants to have to see you get hurt by her thorns, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams, but a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive?
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken.
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, it's like a completely different world with...
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering...
You? But you're the one always looking out for...
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all.
At least you figured it out.
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her...
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shion, the...
I know.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd...
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've all...
I guess he couldn't say anything even if...
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough we'll need all our strength. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point. But
Yeah, Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard,
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all... I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because... I just figured that was the... But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend?
I'm sure it made her happy.
You...
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up. You were a good friend to her before.
Yeah. I really... When you think about it, we were all alone, but over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope... No, I mean... I hope she's able to do that. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts.
Rinwell. Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Dahnans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the Blazing Sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shionne.
But then, I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shionne. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Dahnans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that! You're going to jinx us!
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though, you too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then?
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. They called it treatment. But in truth, they were just...
You mean...
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me. Day in and day out. Every single day. What the look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Help. I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be... That's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something.
I'm sorry.
No, it...
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why should...
Are you crazy?
That's exactly... Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery. As if some of us were just meant to be... This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to... If we're doing this to protect people. If we're doing this to save the world from...
A world free of sacrifice.
Not just me. We're in this together, and if we're going to win, everyone has to win. Now I see it.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danan victory over Rena can't be the end.
You bet we can pull it off. We have to.
Yeah, you're right. No, we can do this.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this!
Hey!
What's got Law?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. Not
Hey! I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do.
Well, maybe you're the one with the
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology.
Oh, that's a good point. If you...
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before.
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. That should definitely... Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still,
what do you mean?
with the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without Alphen. Can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right?
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans. If I've learned anything on this, and the one who brought me along was you, Alphen.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thing.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there,
Kisara.
probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh?
Is everyone about ready?
Before we do that, just what
Kisara has a point. Now that...
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there. And
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with... Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual...
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right?
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's... As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence. And
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renan ladder is considered superior to...
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the...
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral art.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking.
Jeez, give backhanded...
Wait a second. Are you?
I am not!
of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like art, as if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this red woman,
I would wager so. Lenegis is too... Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need...
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've...
We're about to land. The descent could be...
If there are clues about your thorns out there, there's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegus's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegus would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a Sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shionne's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. The capital city where Shionne and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a
Oh, I'm sorry. How—
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or...
So how many Renins actually—
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we...
What in the world?
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegus changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself, okay, Do? So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the Wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
What could be so important? It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city...
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for?
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient.
He's right. We need to stop.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right?
You heard him. You don't...
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken the...
Ordinarily, yes. Trust me. As far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so...
Sorry.
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you. This place is a mystery, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First, Lenegis mutates beyond recognition. Now this unexpected visit? The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great... I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was back, I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or...
Never mind. Forget I asked. Is everything okay?
Hmm? Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home is all.
I was hoping to head this way myself.
I suppose the Sovereign... I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how?
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route...
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters. But
it's worth investigating. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here, if it looks...
You'd really do that for me? A lord?
Our lot in life is of little consequence.
Oh, why yes, my lord.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information.
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here.
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people...
Yeah, that one guy even said Zoogle had stopped listening to him.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them...
The Sovereign's... There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone...
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met...
No.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But
Hold up, what are you...
assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual
But what about trade and communication?
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way...
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, what if something were to happen to this?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced, but Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan.
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, as for how Volron factors into all this, at this point...
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. Now, 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became
Do you think Volron was made sovereign for the same reason?
I can't say for sure.
But that would mean that 2 sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule. We never did see Volron's body back in Gena. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strain?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma?
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden.
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will
If the Forbidden Zone really is off limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to...
Then it's decided. That's...
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. Let's go find it! I didn't realize Renan suppressed their own...
And yet, weirdly, none of them seemed...
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it.
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude.
Even so, the quality of life here seemed... I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean...
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have...
What if she's not here? What if it turns...
It's still too early to say.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill...
And what skill?
You know, when you're talking to people around town.
I'm afraid
I do. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have...
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feeling...
So there is a knack to it! How do you...
Now you've got me curious. Is there special...
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out...
What? They look up to you, that's all.
Hey! What's got into Alphen?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird...
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what... I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to dance.
But Dohalim was
only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite...
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they...
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lulsif. Can't, now that I think of it. Aside from Dohalim, we...
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed...
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city...
It feels strange to imagine the...
Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquire? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana.
Yes.
Balseph had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A changing position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Hmm?
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis's transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay.
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganath Haros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently.
Yeah, despite the brutality.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders. Carrying...
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, but their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside...
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than...
So, Alphen, have you...
Yeah. I think it's me, Balsif and the others. They all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went.
Yeah, but still. Just because they had loved ones in their lives...
I know. What they did was horrible, but at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters, so I guess...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because even if they did terrible things?
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at...
Being a Danan doesn't make you a good person. I think that's something...
Shion and Dohalim definitely make...
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust.
What a dick.
There's something I just don't...
What is it?
The crown contest itself is always... In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever...
Yeah, that makes...
So...
Hanfrikt Milgras, the former lord of Sislodi.
So then this Hanfrikt whatchamacall...
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly,
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's
I guess over Holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing...
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis.
And that never...
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies.
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as...
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly...
You and me both. Though we are Renan by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a...
With any luck, the forbid...
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that I was...
But why are you here? Wait, nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure... Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation...
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after but let me tell you, I haven't changed either.
If killing me will bring you peace...
Dohalim, what the—
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, my sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my...
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage. You're just a cow!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to wait.
Is it true?
Each of us have our pasts.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned...
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last.
Did you mean what you said? About letting—
She has more right to my...
But you can't just—
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the Crown contest. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she...
Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagin. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagin. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagin and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their
I suppose it's natural you would see it as...
I would have. Once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundation.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely... And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not...
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, but he was desperate and low on options.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then...
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved. And by her friend's hand, no less.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my... As for what happened after...
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I... You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. So, try not to blame yourself.
Frank as always, but...
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's important to have someone like...
I didn't realize how difficult it is just...
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped... To me, keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but... I still wanted to say thank you.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me... likely offer their assistance.
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight. Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menancia. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one. Demon Fang! Stop! Fire support! Take the fort! Be like it!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Water!
You're on!
Now! Shion! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by...
Indeed. They seem... And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few friends...
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met.
I've never seen anything like...
Maybe someone doesn't want us here. And the
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of...
Alright, guys. We're gonna do one fight, and then I'm gonna save. Because I need to get ready for bed. I gotta get back up for work at 5 in the morning. It'll be fun.
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
No backing down! Here I come!
I'll stop it! As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
I can carve through. I'm on a roll now!
Not today!
No further!
Shockwave flash!
Now I'm in the groove!
Demon Fang! Demon Fang! It's over!
Now I'm real mad!
Super Swallow Dance! Demon Fang!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
This should do it! Take this one's all mine!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Well then, let's keep moving.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Here I go!
You picked the wrong fight! You require help! Demon Fang! This I won't show you any mercy! You got spirit!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
I know fine weapon material when I see it. Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone...
Get
Nothing
lost!
gets by me!
I'm on it! Ignite!
The armor won't save you! In a bind? All finish you here and now!
You picked the wrong fight! Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
Now I'm real mad!
Easily be favored.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
I'll smash you!
Burn in hell!
Eat this!
Demon Fang!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Eat this!
Do it! Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Lady Fortune must truly be watching over me.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Far enough!
Sonic Thrust!
Watch
It's
this!
like trying to keep up with a wall!
Rising Wyvern!
Watch
Sword
now!
Light Spear!
Another one down!
Damn it! Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Destruction!
That freaking does it!
You're mine!
Take this! Eat this!
Blow away!
Hurricane!
Looks like we won.
Right, here goes! Bring him down!
Healing circle!
I owe you one.
I'll punch that gun out of your hand!
Engaging!
I'm on it!
Rising
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that.
These fists have got your name on them. I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Sonic thrust!
I'll heal you all!
Rising weapon!
Here's the evil! Hurricane! Freeze laser!
Wind! Devastation!
By the power of water!
Be
Now!
still! Rising falcon!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori, I'm Maris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision.
That person Alphen was speaking to.
It was Naori.
She really does look like Shion.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness?
It was a conversation we had 300 years.
You mean all of that really happened?
But how is that even possible?
No.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dan.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned, for all we know. Perhaps we're close to the spot.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe.
Shion.
Yeah. So that was my ancestor, huh?
Yeah, there's certainly...
What about you?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came, reliving painful episodes from your...
I can't just pretend like the... Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was...
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. I'd like to liberate them too, if I can. Which is just...
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion. Not that I'm complaining. Come on.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control noodles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
What the? Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the super, then we get some answers.
Go for the weak point!
I'm not done!
Here's a healing arc! First aid!
Take this! Swallow hurricane!
Here,
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
it's weakened!
I'm on it! This
Now I'm in the groove!
A whirling orb
Here I
system
go.
come to an end. By the power of lightning orb!
I'm on it.
Lightning of death! Thunderbolt! Between heaven and earth! A wailing banshee of lightning! Astral energy!
Say no more.
I'll heal you
Rising
all!
Wyvern! Void Flash!
Wind absolute!
Hurricane Storm! Rising Phoenix!
Magic Here's evil!
Here comes something big!
Light of God! Quiver
Vacuum Blade! Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Double! Steering blade! Reload! Burst force! Magic is air thrust!
Rising Wyvern!
Here's a healing
Soaring
heart!
Light Spear!
See what happened there is you crossed me.
Mirage!
Shouldn't have done that.
Dragon War! Here through!
Enemy
Double Demon Fang!
Radiant here!
I could do this all day.
More from the top!
Rising Wyvern!
Loud magic!
Swallow Blade!
Here! Healing storm!
This is looking good!
Radiant blood! Steering beam! Reload!
Sword Rain Alpha!
By the power of flame!
Almost there.
Oh, close enough. Take it away, Laura.
I thought you'd never ask. Hey, you okay?
I can still do this! Take this! Ignite! Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Just getting started!
Here goes!
Swallow Blade!
The water! Powered
Eternal
Do
Kill!
it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Now it's just her. Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning! The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me. Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnagan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzalik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almeidria. As for Tarnagan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories, then I think they may be the kinds of truth...
I'm sorry about what I said.
Finally.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
That vision we saw, it was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not...
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway?
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. What?
The strength of their... Soon, you might very well learn the truth. I have to be ready to face anything. I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. What?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of...
It's off limits even for lords, then?
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in all...
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. Whoever the Sovereign is. They can't...
Did no one ever talk about it when you...
No, not that I can remember. Then again...
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority. That is what we believed this place to be. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's truth. I think... Well, these are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Dahnan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Dahnan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique Adjustment Index, Generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique Adjustment Index, Generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only Sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign. And Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Only 2 sovereigns. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear.
Alright, guys, we'll unravel more secrets tomorrow. Hope everyone has a good night.